Well, good morning, Algebra 2 students. This is lesson 9, and I am excited to teach this to you. I hope you're excited to learn. Our objective for today is how do I solve percent word problems? So how do I solve percent word problems? This is similar to what we learned there in lesson 7, just working with percents in general. So just remember these equations. They're there in lesson 7. In some form or format. This is kind of just how I use them and write them, how I remember them. So feel free to use the ones from lesson 7 or these ones. They're the same, they're just different, a little bit of different notation. So I guess the basic percent equation here is just is over of is equal to percent over 100, or part over a whole is equal to percent over 100. And you can just think of this as a proportion if you want, where you have a part of a number and the whole amount is equal to some number over 100, because remember, percent is always referring to 100, because the word percent means by 100. And if you solve this for any one of the three missing parts that we have here, part, whole, or percent, if you want to solve for the part, it's equal to whole times the percent over 100. If you want to solve for the whole, that's equal to part times 100 over the percent. Or if you want to find the percent, just multiply the 100 times the part over the whole. So those are kind of shortcuts, but again, that just comes straight from here. If you want to use the is and of, just is the same thing as part, of is the same thing as whole. So you can kind of use those equations there. Now the book definitely suggests that you should draw some pictures. I definitely agree with them that it can definitely reduce the number of mistakes that you make. So it's probably a good idea. If you are absolutely 100% sure you won't make any mistakes without any pictures, feel free to do that as well. I'm not going to be looking necessarily for the pictures while I'm grading it, but it can definitely reduce the number of mistakes that you make. So I'm going to go straight to the practice A and B at the end of page 59. If you want to look through the examples they have, you can do that. I'm just going to do these for you. So practice A at the bottom of page 59 says 60% of those present at the performance were this group of people, neophytes, or however you say that. If 200 present were not these neophytes, how many people attended the performance? So just to kind of explain this picture I already have drawn here, all present is going to be 100%. And the neo people make up 60%, because I said that, 60% of those present. Which means those that are not the neo would make up 40%, because remember, this would have to total 100. And it says 200 present were not the neo. So we know that 200 is the 40%. So this is kind of the one that we want to use because we have a number and a percent. And if I have two of the three pieces of information, then I can find the third one. And so I just made a quick list over here. The part is going to be the 200. That's from right there. The whole, well, that's what I'm looking for because it says how many people are present at the performance. So that's what I'm looking for. And then the percent is the 40% there. So since I am looking for the whole, I'm going to use this equation right here. If you want to use this one, just plug it in and solve it like a proportion, which is what I normally do. But since I have this right here, we're going to go ahead and use that. So we're going to say the whole, which I'll call x, I don't know that one, is equal to the part, which is 200, times 100 over the percent, which is 40. It's going to be 200 times 2.5, which is going to be, what, 500. So 500 people were present at the party. So if it went even further and said, well, how many people are the neos? Well, you could say 60% of that 500, or 200 of them are not, so that means 300 of them would be. So you could kind of keep going from that if they needed you to do so, but they didn't ask you to, so we'll stop there. This is practice B, and it says, production increased by 145%. If the number of widgets produced this year was 171,500, how many were produced last year? So our goal, what we're looking for, is how many we produced last year. So I'm just calling it LY. Last year is 100%. And it said we increased it by 145%. So that's kind of where my thought bubble comes here. 100 plus 145 equals that 245. So this number that they gave us is 245% of what it was last year. Okay. Think about if it had said increased by 10%, it would have been whatever we made last year plus 10 more. So we would have said 110%. If we just said it was 10%, then that would make it smaller. So that's why we say 100 plus how much it was increased by to get that number. So then if you just want to use that is over of is equal to percent over 100, you can do that. Again, I've just made a part is this number, the whole is this number, the percent is that number. Just plug that in. Let's solve that. I'm going to solve this one just going by proportions. So this is going to be x times 245, so it's 245x, is equal to 1715000, because I multiplied it by 100, right? So I add on 2 more zeros. And then just divide both sides by 245. Those are really messy. Which would give us x is equal to 70,000. So how many widgets did they make last year? 70,000 widgets. Again, since this is a word problem, we're going to have a word answer. So my answer would be 70,000 widgets were made last year. So don't just stop at that 70,000. That's just being lazy. Do your job, answer the question. Okay, your homework is right down here. You're going to start on page 60. You're going to do 1 through 12, all of those, and then 8 more of your choice from that problem set. Good luck, and I know you're going to do awesome. I'll see you in class.